I have the secret to deconstructing your faith. Hi, my name is Maddie Mae Modal. I'm a Bible scholar specializing in gender and sexuality, and the secret is that it's all made up. I grew up around theologians and Bible scholars. My dad is a Bible scholar, so I literally started taking ancient Greek when I was 10 years old, and my first Society for Biblical Literature conference was when I was around 13 or 14. Not only have I met some of the top Bible scholars and theologians in the world, they've known me since I was tiny. They were my babysitters. I grew up going on family vacations with them. My first beer at a pub was with John Barclay. And I guarantee if you sat down with some of the top Bible scholars and theologians in the entire world and you asked them, is it all made up? They would say, I don't know, maybe. And these aren't just people who study the Bible professionally. They're Christians, confessing Christians. They go to church, they're involved in ministry, they love Christ. But when you study the Bible professionally and academically, you realize how much of it is actually fiction. Yes, there are some historical people, there are some historical events that you can confirm through other historical cultural data, but a lot of it is just a story that's being told. Recently, like many of you, I watched the new Knives Out film on Netflix, Wake Up Dead Man, and my favorite scene is when Benoit Blanc is talking to Father Judd about what faith is. Benoit Blanc, the main character who's a detective, talks about how it's all just a made-up story myth that weak people just buy into. Literally, the camera shifts, the lighting shifts, and we see it through another perspective, and Father Judd responds, yeah, it is all made up. It is all a story. And to me, that captures how I keep my faith going in the midst of my academic study. I was an English literature major in undergrad, and one of the most spiritually forming things that I've ever learned was learning that just because something is fiction doesn't mean it's not true. We all have stories that we put our faith into. For some, including my husband, that might be Dungeons and Dragons. For others, it might be scientific inquiry and research. The story that I choose to live by is the liberating gospel of Jesus Christ. And of course, that's not the only story I choose to live by. I also choose to live by The Grapes of Wrath by John Steinbeck, The Color Purple by Alice Walker, Anne of Green Gables by Lucy Maud Montgomery, Women Talking by Miriam Toews. I choose to live by the story that my mother has told me and her grandmother told her. I choose to live by the stories that we share at the kitchen table and the stories that we spend to stimulate our 4-year-old's imagination. Just because something is a story doesn't mean it's not true. And if you're looking for a story to be factual or scientific, you're just looking for the wrong things in the wrong place. The Bible is a story, and in my opinion, it's the greatest story ever written. And that's partly because it continues to be written. It is a living, breathing text that we're supposed to interact with. And I don't know, if someone tries to tell you that fiction is the enemy of faith, I could confidently tell them, that's just not biblical, sis.